Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You are tuned into Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News Radio, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, Audible, Amazon Music, and more. Because I want to maximize the splatter zone and fulfill my Happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. Those of you who are new here, I am Dr. Marissa. I was introduced to Oprah as the Asian Oprah, and it is my job to balance out all the bad news with good news. And one of the good things about life is food. So I'm your resident foodie. And so I like to bring you what the national day is and give you permission to have whatever it is, even if it's off your diet, because life is way too short not to taste the deliciousness of life. And today is December 7th, and the deliciousness focuses on the National Day for Cotton Candy. Cotton candy is also called candy floss, didn't know that, and fairy floss. That's why I go to nationaltoday.com to find out all these interesting things I never knew before, because I love learning new things. During the 18th century, cotton candy was first recorded in Europe. At that time, it was very expensive and labor intensive. Then in 1897, dentist William Morrison and confectioner John C. Wharton invented machine spun cotton candy. Their invention introduced cotton candy to a wider audience in the 1904 World's Fair as fairy floss. Fair goers loved it and bought over 68,000 boxes for 25 cents a box. So there you have a little bit of history, and you can enjoy cotton candy. It is also World Trick Shot Day. And no, that's not in pool. It's actually in basketball. So apparently you can post, if you do any trick shots with basketballs, to use hashtag World Trick Shot Day to see if you can entertain those of us who know no tricks with the basketball. The originator was, of course, the Harlem Globetrotters. They made their first shot in 1926 and have been the leading innovators in the world of sports and entertainment ever since. Today, they hold numerous world records for their feat and continue to push the limits. They recently added a 4-point line, an innovation that is first of its kind. So kudos to you, Harlem Globetrotters. That reminds me, I was actually talking to someone who was one, and I think we're going to have him on the show. Speaking of which, tomorrow, I am so delighted that I have a repeat guest, and it's an occupational hazard when I have guests on and we get along so well that I start calling them friends and vice versa. And that is Corey Feldman and his beautiful wife, Courtney. They're coming back on tomorrow. So you're going to want to make sure to put this on your calendar. They're launching their Love Box, which you'll find out about, as well as catch up with him since my last interview with him. And that's tomorrow on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. And I wanted to bring you, last but not least, today, December 7th, many of you know, especially if you know of those who served in World War II, it is the National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. And I was sent by my New York news agency to cover a fabulous event at the John Way Airport quite early in the morning at 6:30. It was the Walk of Honor for 8 California World War II veterans, 7 from Orange County, taking flight to attend the 80th Commemoration National Pearl Harbor Remembrance. A local Marine Corps veteran organized the trip in 21 days with funding from 2 local foundations. His name is Dwight Hansen. He's on the board of directors of the Freedom Committee of Orange County. Steve Silverstein, president of the Stanley W. Ekstrom Foundation, and Gary Remland, board of directors, Foundation of Orange. And I'm going to show you some of the clips that did not get sent up the news because I wanted to save them for the show so you could experience just a bit of the honor that I felt being there. And once I've shown the clips, I'm going to name those who were there and just spend a minute honoring them and their service for the freedom of our country. Enjoy.
The two-bell ceremony is dramatic testimony to the humility, dignity, reverence, and honor of our armed forces. It fulfills the promise of reverence for the memory of our departed soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines. Mission from Stuart N. Headley, Chief Warrant Officer, United States Navy, USS West Virginia, Pearl Harbor, World War II. Stu passed on to glory on August 4th, 2021. The toll of the bell reminds us of the reverence we owe to our departed soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, and to those who guard the honor of our country. Upon the sea, under the sea, upon the land, in the air, and upon foreign soil. Let it be a reminder of the faith they confide in us.
Hi, it's Dr. Marissa reporting live, and I have a beautiful man here who's done some wonderful things. Could you introduce yourself and tell me how old you are?
I can't
Introduce yourself and give your age.
Oh, I'm Cliff Sharp. I'm 97 years old.
Wonderful. Hi, could you tell me your name and how old you are?
I'm Jim Nugent, and I'm 94.
Wow. Thank you so much for your service. Are you excited about going to Hawaii?
Yes, I've been there before, but it's nice to go to a physical meeting of some sort.
Yeah.
Also a bikini for the atomic bomb, that was more important.
Wow.
You tell her you were in World War II, Korea, and at Bikini Atoll.
Wow. That's so awesome. This is your dad?
Yeah.
And all the countries of the world was in bikini.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for your service, sir.
Thank you.
I'll let you go.
We are honored today to have 7 men from the greatest generation. My son calls them men of legend that fought, and their brothers and sisters in arms died for the freedoms that we have and enjoy in the United States of America. Freedoms that we have. And I just want everybody to know that we appreciate these men of legend, and that as they go to Hawaii, we wish them an aloha, and just want to thank them today for all they have done for the United States of America. We love you.
And I did not get a chance to interview all of them, but I did want to read the list of those who went to the trip and who have served our country. And just as a caveat, I know that some of you think it is not good to glorify war, and I absolutely agree with you. We are working towards a world where war is not needed. But in the meantime, I don't think it is fair to not honor those who have served our country and who have fought for the freedoms that we enjoy now. And here's a list of some, those that went to Hawaii, thanks to Dwight Hansen, who amazingly arranged this trip in 21 days. And here are the list of the men who were being honored and who are right now, today, at the 80th at the 80th Pearl Harbor Remembrance Ceremony in Hawaii. Bill Hall of Orange, California. He was a Staff Sergeant, Marine Corps, and Army National Guard, served in the Pacific 1941 to 45, 48 to 67. Harry Hammer of San Clemente, California. He served stateside, Army and Navy, 1946 to 1947. Bryce Jordan of Lake Forest, Lieutenant Colonel Air Force, served as trainer in Texas and Florida, 1942 to 1972. Jim Nugent of Whittier, California, in the Navy, served in the Pacific on the USS Pine Island, 1943 to 1952. Mike Panos of Irvine, California, Private First Class Army, served in 11th Airborne Japanese Occupation, 1946. Cliff Sharp of Huntington Beach, California, Private First Class Army Air Corps, served as tail gunner, 1943 to 46. Bill Stewart of Balboa Island, California, Staff Sergeant, Army Air Corps, served in the Pacific 1946 to 49, and Wallace Johnson of San Leandro, California, Chief Petty Officer in the Navy, and served on USS Hornet 1941 to 1971. These veterans range in age from 93 to 101 years old, and each of them will be accompanied on the 5-day trip with a family member, friend, or caregiver. And also honorable mention goes to the Bob Hope USO at Orange County, as well as the American Legion Newport Harbor Post. Those, along with the Freedom Committee of Orange County and the Community Foundation of Orange and the Stanley W. Ekstrom Foundation, were those who put this together. And I am grateful to have been part of witnessing the walk of the men of legend, as Dwight was calling them. All right, and when we come back, today's question of the day continues the theme of holiday blues and how you can get out of them. And this time, we're actually going to talk about some of the people that may drive you crazy during the holidays and what to do about them. When we come back on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, NBC News Radio, CNBC News, and NBC Sports, KCAA AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, Amazon Music, and more. And of course, my YouTube channel, which houses all of my past 589 shows, I believe, over 501 consecutive weeks, as well as my Red Carpet series, where you can see my interviews with Olympic gold medalists, along with great actresses, with some really interesting people like Halle Berry. She's in that new movie right now, Bruising, which is really good, or The Bruiser, including Halle Berry, who has a great new movie out, her first time directing. If you haven't seen it, I loved it, The Bruiser, as well as one of my favorite actors, John Travolta, and one of my favorite musical, I don't know, producer doesn't say it, but Quincy Jones. That's all on my YouTube channel. We're almost at 250,000 views, so thank you for free subscribing, and you will get an alert at 8 in the morning when a new show drops. All right. And as promised, the question of the day is, how do you deal with people during the holidays who you're not crazy about? So here's the interesting thing. Since we've had this pandemic, I think you're almost going to be excited to see the people who used to drive you crazy. But I have a couple of tools for you. And this actually, you don't have to wait for the holidays for this. How do you deal with people who just get on your last nerve? So that's the question, because I don't know what I've been doing, but I've been attracting some of those. And I consider myself, I have to practice most of what I preach, but every once in a while I give myself a break. I'm 88% right on. And then 12% of the time I could do better. But it is definitely one of those things where my peace of mind and my peace of heart are always affected when someone pushes my buttons or says something that just irritates the living bejeebies out of me. How do I feel better when that happens? So here's the tool that I use that helps most of the time. And it may sound a little bit not cruel, a little bit flippant. And I will admit to that, because it's not that easy. And yet at the same time, it can be that easy. So a lot of people will say that relationships need a lot of work, and it's true. Relationships do require some work. But at what point do you try to keep a relationship alive that is causing you so much grief on a daily, hourly, minute by minute basis? And the tool is called Love from Afar, or also known as Detach with Love. So when during the holidays you see people you haven't seen all year, and maybe they ask you the same questions that drive you crazy, like, are you dating anyone? Are you married yet? Or why aren't you married yet? Or are you having kids, or you're not having kids, and why not? And, how's that problem that you may have confided in them 30 years ago, and they keep bringing it up? It's not a problem anymore, but it becomes a problem when they keep bringing it up. So all of those, my first reaction to people who step on my nerve is I have to keep a very straight face, or it shows the eyeball rolling, like the big breath. Really? And it's okay in my book to be real, but oftentimes if you're as real as you want to be, you may end up having to apologize. And I hate apologizing. So I really try not to step out of line in the first place. So here's a couple things that I do. I take a breath. And then when I take that breath, I try to smile on the out in the exhale. So breathe in, practice this with me, in through the nose. And then when you're releasing the breath, force yourself to smile and have the breath come out of the smile. And it might come out a little laugh. And this is what's going through my head. Everybody does the very best they can do. If they could do better, they would, but they can't. And am I a loving person or an irritated person? I'm a loving person most of the time. So I have this choice right now to be irritated or to be loving. Now, what does loving mean? Loving does not necessarily mean you have to sit on the phone or sit in front of that person and listen to them spew or listen to them do what they always do. You can, with love, say, I'm not dealing with this right now. Let me come back when I'm in a better space. Or I think, my shelf life with you needs a break right now. And I am, the upside of cancel culture is you're not allowing things, to continue to jerk your chain, because really it's your chain. So if you leave it out there to be jerked, guess what? Someone's going to pick it up and jerk it. So it's also called don't go to the tractor for milk. If you've been saying the same thing to the same person more than 3 times, it's likely that you're part of the problem because you're enabling them to be the way that they are. So stop enabling. Just walk away. Drop the rope. There is no tug of war when you do not pick up your side of the rope. And that's why sometimes, there's a season for loving someone from afar. Is not, you've tried to say, this isn't working for me. You've tried to say, you've asked me this, or I've asked you not to, more than once. And if it continues, it's self-care to say, I don't think I want to be friends with you anymore on Facebook, or I don't think I want to receive text from you, which there is text from you, and there is a blocking function. Now, that's for their protection and for yours, because it also stops you from saying something that you may regret, which is, as Dr. Phil would say, you cannot unring a bell. So some things, even if you say you're sorry, are unsorryable. So there's your tip for during the holidays, how to deal with the people who drive you to the moon. Hopefully that helps. And when we come back, I'm delighted to bring you the Spotlight interview. I had such a great response on, what show was it? Friday's show? Oh, I can't even remember. One day last week, I gave you some caller responses on, I gave you some shows where I answered caller questions, and I love doing those because you just never know. I love being in that pathway of, speak through me, don't let me get in the way, let the words be thine and the voice be mine. And so I never know what's coming out of my mouth. And when it's pure creativity or it's pure inspiration, it's like, I call it my spiritual orgasm, but don't tell anybody. It feels so good just to know that I helped someone with the words that were not mine. So because of that, I'm bringing you more because you asked for it. And that's when we come back on Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And we're back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News Radio, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 102.3, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere in the Inland Empire. This is the number one station with News Talk, and this is the number one show and the 8 a.m. slot in the IE, and only number 2 to Bill Handel in Southern California. So I am so grateful you continue to tune in. You continue to ask for the good news. What's good about the world? What's good about you? What's good about me? And for the holidays, I have a very special Happy 88 meal, and I'm playing a little promo for you that has no words, but nice images of everything included in the Happy 88 meal. If you're just listening right now and want to skip to drmarissa.life in the products section, it's the first one. Look for the Happy 88 bundle, and I'll be right back after the promo to explain what's in it. Take a listen. And yes, if you're just listening or just enjoying the music and maybe went to drmarissa.life to look it up, the Happy 88 meal includes my download of Balanced Tai Qigong. It is my moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time, 28 minutes. And I promise if you have trouble with sitting still for meditation, it is the perfect meditation tool to help you with calming down the critical voices in your head. And then, of course, my number one bestseller, 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are, the audiobook that I actually narrate. So you will hear my voice in your head asking you to be happy and to choose it and working through all the things that are getting in the way of your happiness. So there's exercises in the book that you can do. I give you time on the audiobook to take out a piece of paper to do the work. And I promise if you do all of the exercises, you will never hate yourself the same way again. And then my Mommy, What Are Feelings children's book. And it's a download that your kids can open and color and draw their own feelings. It also opens to the excited one, which is a happy one. Oh, there's a happy one too. But my favorite ones are the scary looking ones. This is frustrated. So frustrated is a feeling, and it's something that you can allow your children to feel and understand. So this is actually a book created for parents who were told not to feel, like I was. Don't feel that, don't cry, I'll give you something to cry about. So it's a safe way, and it rhymes, and it goes through the taste, touch, sight, and sound of feeling. So it's a wonderful book that my daughters did the drawings of when they were 5 and 7, and I can't wait for you to use them. I've had parents of autistic children call me and say every hour they want it read. They love the book. So please do get my Happy 88 value pack, available for the holidays, value at $88. Oh, and there's some original music in there as well. And registration for the 21-day fast from complaining with Dr. Marissa, which is perfect for the coming new year. If you want to change your life, it's the easiest way to do it. So all those things are only $28. And because I'm feeling generous today, the first person to go to drmarissa.life and put in Asian Oprah giveaway will actually get a free Happy 88 value pack today. All right. And now, without further ado, here is another answer of the question of the day about work. Because so many people right now are out of work, a lot of them by choice, not wanting to go back to what it was in hashtag BC19, and maybe wonder, I call that the time before COVID, half jokingly. And it's a good question. What should I be doing? What are the things that I should consider if I want to make a career change? And so here's the question and the answer. Enjoy.
Hi, Tanya.
Hello, how are you, Dr. Marissa?
I am happy. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Good. And we're hoping fine does not stand for effed up, irrational, neurotic, and emotional.
It just may.
Well, good. Then you're exactly where you should be. So the first thing I'd like you to do is put your feet on the ground, palms up, gently closing your eyes unless you're driving, taking a deep breath in through the nose, and releasing. Soft shoulders, soft elbows, soft knees. Another deep breath in. Connecting with me through Chi eternal energy. And when you're ready, open your eyes. So on a scale of 1 to 10, on the fine scale, in the category, let's go to relationships first. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being fabulous, 1 being not so fabulous, where would you rate yourself right now?
I'd say 8.5, actually.
8.5. All right. That's very close to 88%, which is perfect in my eyes. Let's go to health and well-being.
I would say probably 9.
9? Oh, okay. Then I guess we know where we're going. The last category is job and career. What
I
number
would say
you?
a 1.
A 1. Well, good, because we're going to talk about that then. How do we get you from a 1 to an 8.8? What would you say is the number one unhappy factor with respect to your job and career right now?
Just being fulfilled by what I do. I would want to find something where I'm actually fulfilled by that job. It makes me happy, and it makes me feel as though I'm doing something that actually benefits someone.
All right. And so you're in a job that you're not crazy about right now?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And how long have you been in that job?
I've been in this particular job about 20 years.
Wow. Okay. So you've gotten tenure there. Now, when
Absolutely.
you first started there, did you really love your job? Did you like what you were doing?
I liked what I was doing. I don't know that I would say I loved what I was doing, even at that point.
Okay. And are you good at what you do?
I'm told I'm very good at what I do. I feel that I'm very good at what I do.
Okay. And the pay's pretty good?
The pay is excellent.
Okay. So you fall into that category of clients that I have who really don't like what they do but are not sure about changing things. Lots of unknowns. Am I going to be able to make the same amount of money? Am I going to be good at what I want to do? I don't know what I want to do. I just know it's not this. All of those kinds of BS belief systems, any of those ring true?
Every single one of them.
Okay, I'm reading your mind. So the good news is you're not alone. A lot of people, a lot of my life balance clients reach that place somewhere in the middling of their life, formerly known as midlife crisis. I renamed it to call it midlife opportunities. So that's the first shift that I liked you to make, because there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing bad about the 20 years you've been there. It's been a beautiful chapter. You've been able to take the wonderful expertise that you've developed there to do a job well done. You've gotten compliments there. You feel good about your accomplishments. You've made good money to buy you things that you liked and gave you a smile for at least a day. So instead of seeing your whole situation as I don't like, I don't want, I don't know, we're going to completely shift that to can't wait to see what's next. Okay? That's a big shift, because you're going from the negative lack, limitation, worst case scenario, I'm going to lose something, to wow, gratitude and appreciation, grateful for that chapter, long chapter, it's almost a book, okay? But there's a whole new chapter, almost a book, that you get to create now. Take a breath.
Okay.
Take a breath. Okay, we're resetting you on that. So anytime the critic in your head says things like, well, you're supposed to stay where you can't leave. You're going to give up all the retirement or whatever it is that you have built up, all of that. And you can't go into the unknown. It's scary in the unknown. And then you're going that's fear, and fear stands for future events already ruined. I love that. So
I love that too.
Okay, so do you have that critical voice in your head?
Oh, I do.
Okay.
I do. And from outside influences, too, from people who love me and want me, to succeed and do well, and are a little afraid for me because this is all I've ever done.
Yes.
Not that they don't believe in me, but they want me to make, wise choices and make the transition in the best possible way.
And you will. And you will. And you have to know that for yourself. So do you think you're supposed to be happy in this thing called life?
I do.
Good.
And I think it's taken me a while to come to that conclusion that you don't just have to exist. You can actually,
Thrive.
you know, be successful and have a successful career and do well, but also be happy in what you do.
Yes, yes. So the tuning for you, the balancing here is getting the voice that you listen to, the one that just spoke, is balance-centered Tanya. Okay? Your critic, who's your biggest critic? Who was someone who you could not do right or was always telling you shouldn't have said that, you should do that? Who was that?
I really don't have that in my life.
Okay, good.
You know, the people that I depend on are my family and close friends, and they've always, you know, held me up and always told me I can do whatever I want to do. Just put my mind to it and do it. So I don't really have that critical, you can't do it, you don't do anything wrong voice. If anybody, it would have been me. Okay. I do that to myself sometimes.
Right. So let's call him Frank. That voice is now going to be Frank because Frank sounds like fear. So Frank the fear, it's not really the critic. You have a fear factor, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So Frank, you're going to learn a dialogue to calm Frank down. Okay, we don't have to do this right away. We don't have to do this overnight. This can be a process. As long as it takes, it will happen. And we're just going to look for signs of what we want to do. And the best part of this, it's play. You get to play for the next year of your life in looking at possibilities. It's a game. It is called my creative future game, my CFG. And
my
every
creative
future game. So it is not, there's no pressure except your own negative motivation because you don't want to do what you're doing now. So I want to get out of that negative motivation and say, it's good. I loved the 20 years. It was good. Okay. And now I'm so excited about what is going to happen. I'm so excited because all opportunities are available to me. And I want you to use a tool. One of my tools is called Google Play. Not go to the App Store, but I want you to spend 15 maximum 30 minutes a day just in Google Play. So what you get to do is you're not going to put your analytical thinker hat on. You're going to put your creative, inspired, play mind. There's a book was called The Artist's Way that I used to use. I still use with my clients and have you have a play date with yourself. They say once a week. I like to play more often. So it's once a day. And so 15 minutes instead of before you turn on Netflix or before you turn on the TV or whatever it is that you are distracting yourself from being or using as relaxing. Use this as a relax. You just sit down at your computer and you look in the search bar and you take a breath just like we did at the start of the show and say, put in keywords. So this is especially if you sound like a very organized analytical person and you're a good problem solver. The only downside to that is you want to know everything and how it's going to play out before you take a step.
Absolutely. It's like you know me.
Isn't it funny how that happens? That's because we connected through the chi breath. Because I don't know that. I've never met you. I don't know who you are. But I just had that feeling. So because of that, it paralyzes you. You're a little bit of a recovering perfectionist, which is also one of those you get a lot of stuff done. But if you're not going to do it perfectly, you go into procrastination. And then from procrastination, you move into paralysis. So what we're doing is we're taking... Did I do it again?
You just struck a nerve. That is me. All day long.
I swear Jarvis did not tell me anything about you. That's what I love about doing call-ins. I get to totally mind meld and then shock myself. Jarvis loves doing these shows because he's constantly like, "Oh my God, how did you just do that?" So I remember that. Do you remember that caller who also didn't have a critic and a happy family and everything? And so I told her to call her critic Luella. Do you remember that? And she goes, "Oh my God, that was the name of my aunt. Like how would I know that?" Right? And her aunt was always the one she aspired to be like. So we're having another moment. I love these moments. I call them like my spiritual orgasms because I'm so in the flow. Sorry. Did I just say that out loud? Okay. Anyways, so back to where we were. We are okay. So creative Google Play. You're going to have a date with yourself, 15 to 30 minutes. You put on, and what happens is the possibilities become open. And now what you're going to have to do is stop the critical analytical mind perfectionist who says, yeah, but how are you going to do that? And how is that going to work out? And you don't know this, and you're going to have to go back to school for that. And da-da-da-da-da. You just take a breath, say, thank you very much, Frank. I appreciate everything that you're saying. I know you're trying to protect me. And this is also the dialogue you have with your parents. You may not say it to your family. You may not say it out loud. But this is how you sort of, I got this. It's fun now. I'm not in any pressure. You're not going to have to worry. I'm not going to do anything stupid. But I'm having fun with this. I have a front row seat to my life. I have a front row seat to what the curtains are unfolding. And there's many doors that I have possibilities to go through. And all Google Play does is it allows you to see, well, this door has knives sticking out of it. Probably don't want to do that. Or this door is, a little bit flimsy, or this door is a revolving door. So all you get to do is look at what possibilities are possible. That's all this is about. And what happens is when you do that and you are open about all of the possibilities, then things begin to materialize. You'll accidentally sit down beside someone waiting for something and get in a conversation, and they'll accidentally be looking for someone to do something, or you go somewhere to do something you like to do and you find out you really like that, and there just happens to be a course in that you can take on the weekends, or all those things become possibilities. That's the name of your next chapter of life, is possibilities. Doesn't that sound fun? I'm having fun just thinking about it for you. There's no downside. And it's always best case scenario. We do not go to worst case scenario. Thank you very much, Frank. I know you're trying to keep me safe, but you don't have to. There's no water here. We don't have to drag a raft and try to float. There's no water here. It's all good. And isn't it beautiful and wonderful that I'm making money right now that I can tuck away and resist the urge to buy a new outfit or a new purse or a new designer, anything, and just tuck it away. And this is called Google Play money. This is called, I need to get Google as a sponsor. I mean, I say that name so much, it's not even funny, but I digress. So it's your play money, but the play money doesn't go towards, well, let's go to Vegas, or you can still travel, and travel is beautiful, and Lord knows I love travel, but the money, I love that I get to take the money that I make in my other job too. I do speaking and I do consulting as an organizational consultant, and I love that work. But then I take some of the money that goes from there and I invested it in this show to brand it. And the first, it was all an investment. And then now I take the money and I create my balanced products like the DVDs and the book. And I have a book coming out, 8 Ways to Happiness. And so I get to take the money that I make, and you're in that great situation where you make good money and it's just seed money. You can do anything. And it's not saying that you have to spend all your money. This is one of the traps that some people do get into. when they hate their job and they're only there for a paycheck until they lose their job, and then they whine about losing it and they hate it in the first place, but then they don't have the money, or they think they get frustrated because they think that they have to replace the money with this new thing that they're doing, when in actual fact you have the money to invest in something which will eventually bring the money. But it's not an overnight process. It is a building a business process, and it's a chance to learn. But you are in the best situation possible when you have that steady flow of income. Don't quit your day job. Stay there, tuck away some money, play Google Play, and you're going to call me back in a year and tell me the most amazing things that you're doing. Yes?
I can't wait.
I can't wait either. It's limitless possibility. And if you can stay in that positive place, the inspiration will come. If you stay in that open space, the answer will come, the solutions will come. And it's a gradual, beautiful, fun process depending on how you look at it. Yes?
Yes.
I mean,
absolutely.
I see that right now. I see. I can't wait to see the combination. You're going to come back and you're going to say, you are not going to believe what I'm doing right now. And I'm going to go, yeah, I do. I know exactly what it is. Yeah. Anything else?
No, I mean, I've been trying to take notes, and I've taken a lot from this conversation. I'm going to do exactly what you told me to do, and I'll talk to you in a year.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful.
And I will have something great to report.
I'm sure you will. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your alignment question with me. And I wish it's going to be so fun. Just stay in the possibilities. Yes?
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Marissa.
Thank you, Tanya. That was fun. I love my job.
And if you would like more answers to questions about relationships, to job and career, to your health and well-being, I have a plethora of answers that I gave callers that are in my playlist of Get Happy with Dr. Marissa on my YouTube channel, so you can free subscribe and enjoy those. And that is it for show number 590 here on Take My Advice, I'm Not Using It, Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from my living room, reminding you that it's all about balance, peace in, peace out, world peace through inner peace. And remember, have the best day ever.